Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our fourth and final match of the day here in Starladder Season 8, Day 21. We've got Fnatic versus SSD, the super strong dinosaurs coming up for you here. And of course, SSD with that new roster. They've got Joker, who is PieCat, and MMMMMMM, who of course is Misery, joining Arise, Sneaking, and Come With Me, aka Come My Wild, as I've been known to call him a time or two. I am Zyori, once again joined by Cinderin. And I'm actually looking forward to this one, Cinderin. This should be a pretty good matchup here.
It should, and it's once again one of those games. I know I'm labeling a lot of matches as important in this, but it's, to be fair, that's just the way it is. There's going to be such a... I think this might be the closest finish we've ever had to the Starladder group stages, what we're going to end up on this time. I think the last few times it's been fairly obvious who were top two. I believe Alliance went through one of the group stages with like one loss, or maybe even zero. I think they had one... and Na'Vi had like two, but this time around both teams have conceded losses to various teams. Na'Vi sitting on 3 losses, Alliance also sitting on 3 losses, rox.kis the lowest team in the top 4 with only 2 losses, but also only with 9 wins compared to Alliance's 11. Actually Na'Vi also only 9 wins, so a lot can still happen. SSD's current score is 7-2. And their opponent Fnatic is now on 4-2, so Fnatic have a lot more games to go, and a really crucial game here. Fnatic will also be treating it as such, getting their IO in the first 2 that they love to play with. And of course SSD will be banning out the combinations that Fnatic tend to favor, namely Tiny and Chaos Knight. We'll see if that is going to work, but Fnatic has an incredible win rate with this hero.
Yeah, they really do. I haven't checked it recently, but following 6.79 a few weeks after that, they were 9-2 for a while in competitive. So yeah, they definitely have a very strong EO player in that no-tail. Those micro skills certainly come in handy on that Wisp.
I'm gonna try to look it up right now if I can, what the win rate is for him. I think I can find it pretty quickly.
Yeah, it should pop up on Dota pretty easily. So I'm more excited to see who Fnatic are going to grab to pair with the EO. And sometimes they do one of those classic combos. As you mentioned, SSD did ban out Tiny as well as CK. But, you know, we've seen him run it with Gyrocopter sometimes. Ursa, always an option as well. So there are some other heroes in the pool that they can grab and still pair very nicely with that Wisp. And, you know, Fnatic are another team that they're not afraid to call some sort of a crazy audible at the line of scrimmage, to steal a football term. I've even seen, I think, Starladder Season 7, I saw a game where No-Tail ended up going solo mid with Wisp, at least for the early levels until he hit 6, just because their draft ended up working out in such a way that they didn't have one of those classic combos to pair him with. So very comfortable with this hero regardless, and I think they can find a degree of success even without one of those classic scary combos.
I just found the stat. Fnatic are 44-11 with IO. That's an 80% win rate over the course of 55 competitive matches. That is an incredible score to have, especially considering that, of course, when you have these scores, there are some of the games that are against mediocre or not top-class teams. Of course, every top team has matches against teams that are not of the same caliber, but a lot of the games Fnatic have won have been against really strong opponents with this IO. So having an 80% win rate, you just can't misinterpret it. It's incredible. It's their most successful hero. It's maybe the best score of competitive Dota for a single player of all time. I don't remember anyone having this crazy stat as Fnatic do with IO. So yeah, absolutely amazing, and that's definitely something to worry about for SSD. I can't believe he has an 80% win rate with that hero. That's completely obnoxious. So definitely an incredible player on the IO, but more so Fnatic, an incredible player at yeah, that's right, an incredible team at playing around IO, because it's really a type of team play hero. You need to be on the same page, using the way you can globally push with it, the way you can globally gank different things. So absolutely incredible team, and interesting to see Storm Spirit and Invoker on the same team. This is something we rarely see. I'm going to assume it will be Invoker in the mid position and Storm Spirit in an easy lane because of that, which is something that we really don't get to see every day.
Yeah, very. You know, I don't know that I've ever even casted a game with both these heroes on the same team, because they both almost always take that mid role. But I would agree. I think it's going to be Hani on the Invoker here, solo mid, and we'll see who grabs the Storm Spirit. This could be something weird where they put... God, I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. Maybe this will be a tricksy Storm Spirit here. Curious what they're going to do for Era's hero. I still think Gyrocopter is going to be an option here for their 5th pick. That's my guess.
That's a good pick as well, I believe, but they banned it themselves, so... Well, that's...
Oh, wow. Okay. I guess I was off with that one. Jeez.
Never mind.
I mean, he would work well for SSD as well.
I would have liked it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. They do have a setup for him with, of course, the nice lane with Crystal Maiden and Naga.
Yeah.
And maybe Fnatic will be looking at something a little bit more... a little more potent, so to speak, in terms of going in, because they do have the Storm Spirit to initiate, but it feels like they need one more hero in the front line. They might be a little bit pressed to get a good team fight without a stronger carry as such in terms of committing. But Chaos Knight and Tiny are out, which would be two of the good choices.
Could this be an Ursa?
It would be very uncharacteristic for Fnatic to get that. Lifestealer is not banned.
Yeah.
Actually, but also not the best pick here, seeing he's up against Mirana and Naga, but it could still be the choice of Fnatic. It's definitely an option they have here.
Hero they like. The Clockwork ban, final ban from SSD is interesting.
Or Luna.
Luna? Yeah, Luna could work. I did not see them grabbing Clockwork here, though, so sort of an interesting choice from SSD. I think this is kind of undoubtedly going to be a carry, but Fnatic will take their time. They've got plenty of reserve time here, so they can think about it for just a moment. SSD really do have a nice setup, though. Kunkka on top of that Naga Siren, pretty easy to understand with the Song of the Siren, boat to follow up. And they've got the Mirana there for a little more hard carry Mirana action, a nice early game as well. Crystal Maiden, Naga, and Mirana, a very potent tri-lane.
Very much so, and if that's the tri-lane they want to play is the question. Of course, Kunkka can definitely go solo mid. Will be hard-pressed against the two heroes of Fnatic that will most likely go mid, though, either Invoker or Storm Spirit, both of them good against Kunkka, and it's actually going to be a Timbersaw, so...
Interesting.
I believe Era will be playing Storm Spirit, which is something I don't recall seeing ever, actually.
When I was stumbling about who was going to play Storm Spirit, I was going to say, maybe Era's going to play Storm Spirit here, and then I thought about it and said, maybe I don't want to say that out loud. And now I'm regretting my choice to silence my inner thoughts, because this is really an interesting draft, and I'm also curious how Fnatic are going to lane this exactly. Is it going to be a 2-1-2, maybe, coming out? Sort of, I guess they could tri-lane. I only steer away from the tri-lane because Wisp is a hero, as we mentioned, that really doesn't thrive in that tri-lane experience because he needs experience.
They could dual lane. They could very well dual lane mid. It's something Fnatic are the best team in the world, in my opinion, at dual laning mid Wisp. Or IO, sorry, because they understand how to use it effectively for pulling. No-Tail has played this hero countless times now, like we said, on record, and played it in all kinds of positions. Aggressive tri-lanes, defensive tri-lanes, dual lane mid, even solo mid, like you said. I mean, he's tried a lot of stuff on this hero, and pulling mid is one of the biggest strengths IO has as a support, as an advantage compared to other heroes. The way it works is if the camp around the mid lane, which range creeps can spawn in this camp? There can be satyrs, the small ranged ones, and is that it actually?
It's a good
question. Any other camps?
Any other ranged? Can
golems don't. The ogres don't. The wolves don't.
Yeah, I think
the trolls don't. I think that's the only camp. So he can try to stack the camp once or twice. I believe it is possible to stack it up to 3 stacks, but it's really hard. But he needs a range creep in order to be able to pull it towards the mid, and the way it works is that you get one of the range creeps to start firing a projectile towards you, and while it's mid-air, you tether to the creep wave in mid. Then you take the damage from the projectile, and then the creeps will aggro towards the camp, else it doesn't work. So you can't do it with melee creeps to the same extent. We'll see if No-Tail even does that, but I would hope he does, but we'll see. Oh, actually, Hani will be easy laning the Invoker. This is, of course, also an option, but not the one I was expecting. He's going to have a hard time against this trial.
Yeah, definitely. Although, Fly going to be down here. Maybe this will be a 2-1-2 coming out for Fnatic. They still have some options. We'll see how it settles down. But Fly is going to be on the Visage down here in the bottom lane. Hani going to be playing on that Invoker, as we mentioned, down here in the bottom as well. Looks like it will be a duo lane in the mid. Era going to be on the Storm Spirit here. No-Tail going to be joining him on the EO, IO, Wisp, whatever you want to call him. The big glowy blob, faceless blob. Trixie going to be on the Timbersaw in the true long lane here. Or off lane, I suppose I should say. Got to get out of the habit of saying long lane, short lane. Safe lane,
this
off
mid lane?
Yeah.
This is going to be a really hard mid lane for Arise here on that Kunkka. I think if Fnatic plays this well, he will be very hard pressed to get any sort of last hits.
Yeah, and already
trying right now.
Off to
going
an
to take a lot of harassment.
Start. Well, Definitely going to be hard for Kunkka. Let's introduce our side of SSD. We've got the super strong dinosaurs on the Dire side. Tagged up as Joker. This is Pycat playing on the Mirana down here in the bottom lane. They've got an aggressive try going on. Come With Me going to be on the Naga Siren down here in the bottom as well. Misery going to be on the Crystal Maiden, joining him in the bottom lane. In the mid, it will be Arise playing on the Kunkka. And up top, sneaking, going to be in the solo safe lane, Nature's Prophet up against the Timbersaw. So a lot of it's going to come down to this bottom lane. Can Hani and Fly fare pretty well in this 2v3 scenario? And so far, they're doing okay. Hani doesn't have too much farm to his name, sitting only 1-1 against the 5-1 Mirana. But they're doing okay. They've yet to concede a death at least, which is something in this against this kind of a killer tri lane.
They don't die here and get levels. I think Fnatic are getting the better off of this trade. Because of the way they're going to crush this Kunkka mid. He's 1-0. And Io did not try to stack just yet. I'm not sure if No-Tail doesn't want to or whatnot, but could at least give it a try to see if he can get a range creep here and pull that towards the mid. Hasn't given it a shot just yet. The question is if it's actually possible to do it on the bigger camp. I'm not sure about that. If he gets a troll in the big camp to the bottom left, maybe he can also pull the mid that way.
Well, Rubik
but not exploring the options just yet.
Rubik
just holding Arise away and might be the better choice.
Yeah, Rubik is able to do it with the hard camp right here. If Wisp can do it with Tether is a whole nother ball game, though. And I want to say yes if it's perfectly timed, but tricky indeed.
Now Invis on No-Tail could be setting up for first blood here if he gets the right kind of initiation. Of course, the Tether doesn't stun anymore, but with the 100% slow, if he can get in behind Arise, so he's behind... I mean, between...
Alright. Well.
So he's behind Arise, so Arise is between himself and Era. There we go, that was a little bit complicated, apparently.
Yeah.
Then they can get the Tether proc off, and that 100% slow is going to allow Era to get up the Vortex, a Remnant, and probably a kill on the basis of that Overload as well. But Arise, playing it passively as he should.
Down bottom, Hani and Fly going to get engaged on. They are going to go in separate directions here to try and minimize their losses. Hani will take a stun right to the face. Joker in the tower, actually taking a lot of damage as well. Hani does go down, not much he could do about it, and Pycat will survive as he leaps back. So, first blood does fall. Misery on the Crystal Maiden will be the one to grab the bonus 400 bounty. And, thought Arise might be taking more damage in the mid, but a nice dive. Not really much else Hani could have done there. I guess he could have tried to move around the trees a bit more instead of showing himself, but yeah, not easy for Hani and Fly by any stretch of the imagination down here.
He didn't have Invoke yet. He had 1 point in Quas and 1 in Exort, so couldn't use a Cold Snap, which would have made a big difference there.
Yeah.
Might have actually saved his life if he just Cold Snapped the Mirana, who was being attacked by the tower. That would have forced Pycat to back off there, I believe. But now he does have it. Did have to concede 1 kill there, and Misery going really aggressive here. If they connect with an Ensnare, which they do, but the arrow can't come in. Very nice play there with the Forge Spirit, but still is going to be enough here.
Yeah.
Get them a trade. Yeah. This is a good trade for them, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 1 for 1 in a 2v3. That definitely goes the way of Fnatic. And they get a kill on the Mirana.
And it's carry for carry.
Yeah, carry for carry. Exactly right. So I was going to say it was a kill on the Mirana, not one of the supports. And No-Tail actually going to rotate his way down here in the bottom. He is invisible once again. So hard to see that invisibility on Wisp. I absolutely hate that. He will tether to a creep. I want to say that was not intentional. I think he was trying to give those bottle charges to Fly. And I think that was a misclick, but we'll see. It looks like No-Tail just going to rotate back towards mid. Not going to be able to make it happen. Come with me. Looks like he wants to pursue. Trying to throw an Ensnare. And not going to find it. He is going to grab it, but No-Tail going to grab the Regen Rune. Oh, no. It's going to cost him. The arrow connects, and that's the end of the Wisp.
Nicely played here from SSD.
Pycat now maybe in a little bit of trouble. Visage on the high ground, chipping away at him. Hani going to block off the high ground with Forged Spirit, and they will let him get out. So, yeah, SSD going to come out ahead there.
Exploiting the movement speed of Naga right there. 320 base versus the 295 of Io allows him to catch up and get the Ensnare off, so very nicely played by Come With Me.
Yeah.
And, yeah, off to a good start, you've got to say, but still, surprisingly to me at least, Fnatic are leading on experience. I know their mid lane is getting very much dominated here by the dual lane of Fnatic, but still, I would have thought they were keeping up on XP, but the dual lane setup certainly working in that regard, but gold still 500 in favor of SSD.
Yeah, and a good portion of that will come from the first blood that they were able to snag, but Era really having a good time here in the mid. He's the last hit leader by a big margin here, 30-8, and the next highest is that Timbersaw up in the top lane for Fnatic, sitting 19-4. So that is definitely good news, though. Era could be in a little bit of trouble here. There's the X mark the spot. They're trying to drop the combination. He's only level 5, so of course doesn't have Ball Lightning. Era in big trouble. No-Tail trying to keep him alive as best he can. Another port going to come in as Storm Spirit does fall. Now No-Tail going to be pursued. Are they going to have the damage to finish him off? The Torrent connects, and that'll be a double kill going the way of SSD in the mid. Now, up top, there was a solo kill from Timbersaw on the Nature's Prophet while that was happening. So I guess Fnatic get a little bit of a recovery up there, but still not the team fight or the engage they were hoping for in the mid. Era just with a really aggressive positioning in the tower range, sitting right about there.
Incredible play from No-Tail, though. Perfect Wisp play there, doing his best to keep Era alive. I don't know how much damage Era tanked there before he died, but it was probably something along the lines of like 1,200, because he got bottled and overcharged by No-Tail from a good range there to keep him alive, but it wasn't enough. They couldn't have done more there. I think they did their best, but at least for them, SSD had to commit 4 heroes, and like you said, Timbersaw getting a solo kill up top. This is one of the best lanes for Timbersaw, because the problem Nature's Prophet faces is that the way he generally wins his one-on-one lane is by harassing his opponent with the Treant and just out-farming him, but the Treants just give Trixie stacks in the reactive armor. So he can just keep tanking it up and fighting back, and eventually, if Prophet makes a little bit of a misstep, can get caught off by the Timber Chain, the Whirling Death, and the Chakram, and just get brought down. And meanwhile, bottom lane, they did manage to pick up Fly. I suppose that was an arrow connecting from Pycat.
I believe it was. I also missed it because, in the mid lane, sneaking, gonna port in. Era needs to be a little bit careful, though he did just hit level 6, so that Ball Lightning makes him a lot more flexible in that positioning and a lot harder to lock down. Hani has been continuing to do a great job down here with his Forged Spirit, though, even if they set up that rotation to connect with the arrow. I think this is part of the reason why they wanted to put Invoker down here in this bottom lane against the tri-lane, because he can do this with the Forged Spirit, and it's working pretty well. Right now he's solo, and he's able to survive. I mean, they haven't set up the rotation quite yet, but just having the Forged Spirit there constantly between him and Mirana is really thwarting their efforts.
Very nice, very wise play by Hani here. And you see, what's he looking at item-wise? He's actually close to... No, he's not. Never mind. Oh, here we go, actually, bottom lane.
Now he's going to be in trouble, though. That Forged Spirit, well, it will prevent the arrow coming out from Misery. Hani going to be able to survive for now. A port comes in. It's going to be Trixie. He's going to throw a Chakram to start things off. Now going to set his sights on the Naga. And come with me. Going to be in bad shape. Fly going to cut him off. There's the slow. There's the Chakram. And that's the end of the Naga Siren. Trixie going to be able to grab that kill. So well played by Hani. He does survive their convergence on him down here in the bottom lane. And he survives to tell the tale. So they turn it around. Still 3-6 in hero kills. But Fnatic still hanging in there. That gold graph starting to move towards their favor. And a pretty sizable experience lead now of about 1,200.
Waiting for Trixie to really become a big force in this game. He's had a great start. He's level 8 at 8 minutes. That's if you can keep a 1 level per minute rate when you get into these levels, it's showing that you have a very good game. So he's a powerhouse right now. He can one-shot the CM with his full combo and wait a bit. Here comes Storm Spirit.
Era getting a bit aggressive here. No-Tail going to connect with the tether. In comes the Sunstrike. That's going to be a kill on the Kunkka. Are they going to be able to get a return kill is the question. Yes, they will. Down goes the EO. As that Naga Siren and Snares did set it up. Misery going to come in with a freezing field. That'll zone him out a bit. Visage going to be able to secure the kill on the Naga Siren. Compliments of the familiars. They were flying by and they were able to finish him off. So it will be a Wisp in exchange for Kunkka and the Naga Siren for Fnatic. So still going to find a better exchange there and will further their gold lead. And meanwhile on the bottom, Hani still in a little bit of trouble, continuing to position that Forged Spirit very well. No-Tail going to come in. He's going to try and support him. The Sacred Arrow going to be off the mark.
Oh my god.
Oh, what a play from No-Tail. It keeps Hani alive. And he will be able to... just beautiful.
Excellent play. This is why that point in overcharge is doing so much work right now, because it's No-Tail's way of taking damage so that he can bottle up Hani. And just textbook play right there. And it's funny to see, No-Tail is 0-3-1, but I feel like he's played so well so far this game.
Yeah. He really has.
That wasn't so good, though.
Now No-Tail going to be in some trouble. Yep.
I jinxed it. I'm sorry. That was not good.
Yeah.
So with the Siren.
Naga going to use the sleep here. Mirana doesn't have an arrow coming up. That was sort of a...
Nope.
I'm not sure why he did that. Now Era going to hop forward, hoping to catch the Naga. Won't find him, but Gonna be a wasted sleep, and at this low level, that's a really long cooldown. 180 seconds, exactly 3 minutes. And it will be on cooldown here. So not the biggest of deals, but still sort of an awkward play from SSD there.
I think it's a big deal throwing away the Song of the Siren when it's level 1. This 3-minute cooldown really matters. Uh-oh, Era.
Yeah,
does have mana for a jump, but now he used all of it. No arrow coming out.
Yeah, PyCat
not going to try for this.
Yeah, not going to go for it. It's a little bit too difficult. So, Kunkka has made a little bit of a recovery here in the mid lane, sort of similar to that Invoker. They're both hovering around a comparable level of CS, 25 on the 25 on the Invoker, 21 on the Kunkka. And he's now got a Bracer and boots to go with that bottle, so I guess it could be worse for the old Admiral there, but still has quite a ways to go before he gets scary. Hani, sort of in a similar item situation, but experience is what he's really after at this point, and he's going to find it now sitting level 7. Come with me. Gonna be in a position to get aggressive here. Sneaking, gonna come down. Hani gonna be in some trouble here. Will use a Sunstrike. Gonna connect with Sneaking. There's the Forged Spirit to come out, but no way Hani's surviving this one. Down he goes.
I like the aggression coming out from SSD. They're really hungry for kills on the map, which is very nice as long as Wisp isn't level 6. But this kind of plays are going to be very hard to pull off once IO reaches 6. Here we go, Arai's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yep, he's going to take a lot of damage here. The crowd controls come in, Visage Familiars as well. There's the boat. Kunkka's still alive. That's going to be the end of the Visage. A nice freezing field from Misery. Going to box out the forces of Fnatic and set up that kill. That set of kills there. Kunkka will eventually fall to the Visage Familiars here as we saw, but Sneaking going to pick up a double kill as he ports in. Did throw a nice Wrath of Nature and was able to do a good bit of damage to those Fnatic heroes as well. Now going to be able to port up and going to grab that double damage rune. Will deny it from Era. So a nice set of kills for SSD in the mid. I think they'll take that exchange.
Really interesting movement pattern here from PyCat. He just crossed through the mid tier 1, tier 2 tower. I'm not sure what he's looking for right now, but is able to come in from a very odd angle here if he's looking for a kill, but I think he's just going to retreat now. He kind of gave up on that at this point. So, yeah, we're looking at a game in which I think SSD are in a good position, but not really leading by as much as they would probably like, and it's simply attributed to the fact that they're getting out-farmed. It's nothing else. No Tail now, in trouble.
Arrow gonna come in, and that's gonna be an ensnare combo. Down he goes. At least No Tail was able to hit level 6 before that kill came about. He does have Relocate now, and like you said, SSD doing very well, but this is before Relocate comes onto the field, and that's when things start to get very scary and a lot more mobile here for Fnatic. And also important to note, 2 Hand of Midas for SSD, 1 on the Nature's Prophet and 1 on the Crystal Maiden. And this is going to be that window where now Fnatic can turn up their aggression a little bit, and SSD might get punished for this kind of greedy build that they've gone for here with the double Midas.
Certainly makes them a lot more fragile against these IO ganks, but oh, here we go. Bottom lane, Hani is going really aggressive. Speak of over-aggression, they're going to get sung down here. No. This is really not good for Fnatic.
Yeah, there's the arrow. It will connect with Fly. Hani going to be able to dodge the Sprout, but still going to be in big trouble. They're both going to fall. While that was happening, they managed to grab a kill on Kunkka in the top lane. And actually, whoa, Visage with those familiars. Fly going to be able to snipe another kill. They will pick off both of his familiars, so a little bit of gold going the way of PyCat. But they get a kill on the Nature's Prophet. Still not the exchange they were looking for, but in the end, a 2 for 2 across the map.
Yeah. And I'm still not feeling it from Fnatic right now. What exactly they're planning to do with the lineup. Haven't really seen the whole synergy between their heroes just yet. It's kind of been mainly individual plays that have been keeping them in the game here. Some big plays in particular out of the IO, in my opinion, have saved them a lot. But I'm still looking for that synergy in their lineup. What's the point of IO? Who is he combining with? Here we go. It's with Storm.
And they're going to go down bottom. They're going to find themselves Misery. In comes a Sunstrike as well. Hani actually going to grab that kill. More than enough damage to kill the poor Crystal Maiden. But she was on a killing spree, so a nice 400 gold bounty will go the way of Hani on that Invoker. Some much needed gold. He's now got Gloves of Haste. Hard to tell whether that's going to be a Hand of Midas, but I'm thinking it might be a Recovery Midas here for Hani.
I think so too. He always gets this on the Invoker. The reason you generally get it is that Invoker gets so much stronger with levels. It's a hero that is very much dependent on reaching a couple of thresholds. He already reached the first one, which is level 9, which is where you have 2 Forged Spirits if you don't get a point in Wex. But after that, just getting a constant flow of levels on this hero is so incredibly good because in contrast to other heroes, you don't deplete your skill potential when you reach level 16. It's not a tribute bonus from all the way after that. You keep getting stronger with your spells with every level. So Midas experience is really paying off on this hero. So Hani will even choose to get it now, although it's going to be very late. It's going to be like a 16 or 17 minute Midas if he doesn't die now, which is perhaps the latest I've seen him pick it up ever on Invoker. But I guess Fnatic are have faith in their ability to control the map with IO and Storm Spirit and Timbersaw in particular, and that they can have time to recover with this Midas.
Yeah, Storm Spirit here. I was just going to inquire about what build he's going for. It looks like it will be a Bloodstone, now picking up the Perseverance to go with that point booster. And he is tethered up. They're thinking about a relocate perhaps. If an engage starts to unfold down in the bottom, Fnatic are all stationed about. And maybe now with these two Forged Spirits, they'll start to push a little bit. And they're definitely going to take out this bottom tier 1 tower. And they can start rotating. The mid tier 1 going to be a pretty easy push as well. So they will clear off this bottom tower. And not going to defend their top. Yep, there it is. Midas going to come out indeed.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
This is a very even game.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with that because we tend to get a lot of one-sided games. Here we go, relocate behind, snaking, goodbye. Gets blown up by this combo, and
now come with me, gonna port into an odd position. Oh, Naga, you're gonna pay for that one. That's a free kill for Fnatic right there. No-Tail gonna relocate out, and he is gonna leave Era here. So that was just more than Fnatic were hoping for. They would have settled for just the Nature's Prophet, a very bad port from Come With Me. And now this may cost SSD, their bottom tier 2 tower. No glyph available. They don't have a Naga sleep. I don't think they're going to be able to defend this. They could throw a boat, perhaps. There's the torrent. No boat coming. And yeah, that tower's going to fall.
Big win for Fnatic. Nice arrow here from Pycat, but doesn't really give anything. Here's the ship. Okay, gets a Forged Spirit.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Oh, it's a 60-second cooldown for 50 gold. And
probably was worth it, in all honesty. I don't think he's going to want to use it again. So, how do you feel about Kunkka right now? Actually, this is a good thing to talk about since I don't think there's going to be kills any kills coming up soon. One of the more recent buffs to him was they reduced the cooldown on Ghost Ship. Do you think Kunkka's in a pretty good spot right now? Does he need a few more nerfs or
I think No-Tail's in a very bad spot.
Yeah,
and maybe
No-Tail
Pycat as well. Oh, Sunstrike going to be off the mark. Era out of mana.
Uh-oh. He's in an odd position here. The
nice
freezing field
from Misery. Oh, no way he's getting out of that.
Wow, Era is going to survive. So
drums popped, arrow,
and going to be just off the mark.
It. No, oh, close call from Pycat.
Yeah. So it's not over yet though. Sneaking now going to come in. Sprout going to connect on Trixie. Not the best target for the Sprout. Whirling Death's just going to clear the trees. So all right, we may have to hold that bit of analysis here for just a moment, as there is a 5-man push from SSD. Incoming to this tier 1 tower. No-Tail's already back though. He's pretty low level, so it's a low respawn timer. No glyph for Fnatic. I don't know if they want to defend this. And Snare is going to come out on
relocate.
Trixie. Arrow going to come. The relocate is what they're going to go in. The tower falls. Sunstrike, boat going to come out once again. Going to be off the mark. Will hit only creeps. Now they're going to continue to pursue. Era taking a lot of damage. Needs to be a little bit of careful. No-Tail's going to be able to heal him back up. Moonlight Shadow did come from SSD, and that's giving them the reset they need. Sentry down, but they are out of range at this point. No kill is going to come on either side.
You have a really good point with those resets. SSD actually have 2 of them, with both Mirana Ultimate as well as Naga Song. Of course, Moonlight Shadow isn't a full reset because it depends on the enemy not having True Sight, but it's actually kind of harsh because there's Sentry and Dust on Visage, there's Dust on Storm, and yeah, that's actually it. So only the only 2 heroes on Fnatic have that. But as far as the Kunkka goes, I don't know. It's a hero I have a hard time placing right now. I think it's a great hero, but it's also in a way lineup dependent. He needs someone to initiate for him, but I think in this draft it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Song of the Siren gonna port in. 2 caught.
Flying No-Tail gonna be in a little bit of trouble. The follow-up's not gonna be there, and X marks the spot comes. Arrow flies, it will be off the mark, it looks like. Fly's still gonna fall, but Come With Me taking a lot of damage. The boat gonna come in, that will connect with Trixie, but he has the Bloodstone. He's very tanky, and he's still in the front lines. It will cost him his life. Fnatic gonna go
actually suicide.
3-0. Yeah, that was a big man up, but I think he would have been wise to just try and retreat out of that one. SSD just going to rotate into the Roche pit here, and I think they might be able to grab it. No-Tail coming
the arrow
up in 12.
there. He didn't catch it on camera, but that definitely wasn't off the mark. He was aiming for the IO, but the Timbersaw came in front of it. So he took the arrow. He actually got arrowed for a long duration in that fight, and that meant a hell of a lot because he was the hero who could have brought down some targets there, but he was locked down for a long time, and when he eventually came out, it was too late. And then he ended up manning up, and I feel like the MVP spell for SSD right now has been the Ghost Ship. It's really kept them alive in these fights. The damage reduction that you have for that 8-second duration of the buff on the boat there has really been doing a lot of work. And Fnatic, they seem to be falling for it every time. They keep trying to make these engages, and if Kunkka gets off the Ghost Ship, they don't seem to have enough burst to go through it yet.
Yeah, not quite yet. And they are going sort of tanky with their items. 2 Bloodstones.
Oh, come with me, top.
Yep.
Could be in trouble.
Gonna show off that new Bloodstone. Grab himself some more charges. EO gonna grab that one. But yeah, this is that point where Storm Spirit starts to get a lot more scary. He's got his Bloodstone, so does Timbersaw. And yeah, I think some damage items will be well advised for Fnatic. Hani's still farming away with that Midas. Hasn't really picked up another big item quite yet. But up top here, looks like Era itching to hop back in. Might be able to grab Misery here. And they're going to fly forward. Visage Familiars, that's going to be an easy kill on the Crystal Maiden. Trixie actually going to join the party as well. And we'll connect with that Chakram. Arise does have a TP scroll here. And is going to burn it. They know it. Can Era find him? Oh, he's not going to ball lightning far enough. A close call, but he will make it out.
Top tower is under attack.
That's also going to mean that the tower is secured for Fnatic. So they're getting objectives. And that's when they start getting scary when they have IO. When they start having the map control by taking down towers, then it becomes very difficult to play against. Here comes this teleport down the bottom, the Sprout is up, Hani is Orchided. Picked up by Snaking, but here's the relocate.
Yep, and they're going to go straight for it. Dust going to be burned right away. The Moonlight Shadow came out, and that's going to be a turnaround on the Nature's Prophet. Era hopping forward, going to find some illusions, and not going to be enough. Mirana is not dusted right now either, so they're going to have a hard time locking her down. Relocate going to take them back top, and now, no talent Era. Don't know that they can solo the Kunkka or if they want to be that bold, but they are going to be stationed up here at the top lane. We see a ping in the mid on to come with me, but not going to find it. So again, well done by Fnatic. They saved their Invoker, and they also turn it around to grab a kill on Sneaking.
Yeah, now come with me might be next up on the menu.
Yep, exactly right. The Sunstrike as well.
On point.
That's going to be the end of the Naga, I think. The boat is going to fly. It is going to connect with No Tail. And Come With Me does actually stay alive. He burns the ult and cancels it right away. It's going to be on cooldown. Will cost No Tail his life. Now Arise and Pycat trying to turn in about face. Arise going to be in some trouble here. Era continuing to hop forward. Down he goes. Now Misery on his way in. Trixie, very low on mana, is going to get Orchided. I think this will be the end of the Timber. Yep, he does take a Sacred Arrow to the face. But now Pycat taking a lot of damage. Era looking for more mana here. Isn't going to be able to ball lightning forward. Visage continuing to do a lot of damage. Sneaking, now taking a lot as Hani joins the battle. And Invoker will be able to finish him off. A very chaotic exchange here, though Kunkka has now bought back. So it was a 3 for 2, and it did cost Kunkka a buyback, much in favor of Fnatic following that fight.
Yeah, they're getting more and more on this map, and you can just see the graphs showing it. They're spiking really hard. That's a V right there on the gold.
Yeah.
And on the... Apparently the XP graph think they did a great job, so they've been... They get a seal of approval from the graphs here. Very nicely done by Fnatic. And the only thing that seems a little bit weird, I think this is a funny thing. I'm not sure if I've talked about it on stream before, but I have talked about it. When these patches come out and something new happens to an item, some professional players, it just takes us a very long time to get used to particular things. And I think Trixie is just forgetting that he can suicide with the Bloodstone. I think he's not thinking about it. Even though it's been in the game for a long time, there are just some habits that really die hard. And you've always been used to Bloodstone working one way, and when you get some sort of new functionality, some people are quicker at picking it up than others, but I think he's just flat out forgetting it. Else he would be using it. It's obvious both the times that he has been dead, but let's wait on that. Relocate behind Snaking. He's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Will be caught off Sunstrike once again. This global combo from Fnatic is really doing work with the vision they have. And this is what I was talking about. Map control in the advantage of Fnatic. Nowhere is safe.
Yeah, I mean, look at their warding here. They've got one on the Dire Plateau. They've got one in the lane up top as well. So they certainly have some vision. And you're right, that global presence is really scary. Hani's been on point with these, pardon me, with these Sunstrikes. But we're going to see it again here. They're going to hop on Misery. He's going to fall. Moonlight Shadow comes out. The Ghost Ship flies. Does connect with Trixie. But not going to do much else besides that. Now this tier 2 in the mid going to be fair game. And with 2 in the grave, should make for a very easy push with Fnatic, for Fnatic. SSD were in a good position earlier on, but now Fnatic just exploding with momentum here. An arrow does connect onto Trixie, but they're not going to be able to pursue. Era, he's suspicious. He's going to hop forward. He is going to grab the Naga. No Song of the Siren up. And the Sunstrike once again to help secure the kill. Visage actually going to grab that one, but Fnatic just finding kills all over the place.
16 Bloodstone charges on Era, and now he's even going to get tethered with a regen from No Tail.
Wow.
Going to get filled up with mana once again, and yeah. Fnatic have completely got this game right now. They've got everything under control. They're getting towers, they're getting kills. And it's very hard for SSD to get out on the map.
Oh, up top, they're going to relocate on top of the Mirana. And down he goes. Going to be another easy kill coming the way of Fnatic himself. An Orchid here. Not sure if we caught that. I think we caught it on camera, but
he recovered really hard, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
He got,
absolutely.
When was the Midas?
About 16? 17? Yeah, right around there.
And since then he's got an Orchid and 2k gold over the course of 8 minutes. That's pretty good.
And now gonna grab Boots of Travel.
Boots of Travel.
Yeah.
He's just showing, in case anyone thought somebody was playing on his account, it is Hani. The Boots of Travel. Trademark item for this player are gonna come out right now.
Oh, and now the sheep stick in the inventory for Era. And this is where things are going to start to get scary. Era has really picked up a lot of momentum. He is now level 16, the highest level by far. SSD's leading levelers here are Mirana as well as the Nature's Prophet, both only at 13. So now that level advantage really starting to come into play. And on a hero like Storm, that's absolutely huge. And like you said with Invoker, experience the name of the game. So even better here for Fnatic. They are going to catch Come With Me. And Naga Siren going to fall, stationed about the Dire secret shop, looking for an opening perhaps, but it will cost him his life, and Storm Spirit going to hop right back into the pit, and he will pick up the Aegis. And great hero for the Aegis as well. Of course, he pops back up with that full mana. It is good news, and yep, exactly right. Going to be onto a rise. He's in big trouble now. Does get the Ghost shit off before the Orchid, but doesn't matter. Doesn't connect with much, and actually, the Rum is going to keep him alive, but not for long. Era going to zip forward, and down he goes.
Era has 40 base mana regen right now.
That is pretty ridiculous, and we see him be very aggressive here. He's got that sheep stick ready, not going to burn it quite yet. Does get Orchided, needs to be a little careful. Sunstrike going to finish off the Crystal Maiden, and Era just not afraid to die. The Aegis going to bring him back with even more hit points, more mana, stronger than ever before, and he'll be back. They're just going to turn an about face, and now just start chipping away at this top tier 3 tower. Naga is up, does have a Song of the Siren ready, but I don't know if that follow-up's going to be there with Kunkka in the grave. Fnatic just going to back up anyhow.
They can't really, I don't know, maybe they can go high ground now. There's obviously 20 seconds on CM and a little less on Kunkka, so they can do a bit of damage, but once these heroes are out, I don't think it's time for Fnatic just yet to try and take the tier 3s. Yeah. Get some more map control, get some more global kills first, and then maybe they'll get the opportunity to do it. Yeah. Not sure what the timing is on the Aegis either. It's gonna take a little bit.
It was burned anyhow, he died, so...
Yeah, I mean when it's respawning.
Oh, yes.
The Roshan looks like it's going to take a little while.
It's going to be a long ways coming, yeah. Good 6 minutes or so at the very least, pending that little bit of RNG. And it looks like Trixie could be moving towards a pipe, does have himself a cloak, so that first core item perhaps, but we'll see where he wants to go. Could also just be a casual cloak. Visage working towards that Ag Scepter, but they're going to find themselves a Kunkka. And now that they have the Sheep Stick, that makes for a very easy kill. We see Sneaking on the high ground here. Hello, Nature's Prophet. Just scouting it out. Doesn't even put down a ward. He will port back out. But yeah, Fnatic with this global presence. Just too much for SSD to handle here.
I think Snaking is doing the right thing here. He can't farm his own jungle because Fnatic has all the map control, but he can try the gamble and try to farm the enemy's jungle because he's not expecting anyone to be here. But if he gets caught out, he's obviously dead. Yeah. But this is the only place on the map where he can reasonably farm right now. Now Misery is going to be caught out nowhere here. Hani, easy kill with a Cold Snap and Orchid. Now, might be in trouble himself.
He's going to get Orchid in. He's going to take a Sacred Arrow. That will be a kill. So a 1-for-1. Definitely not worth it. Invoker for Crystal Maiden, but did draw some of their attention.
Yeah, if there was a relocate there from No Tail, that could have changed a lot, but he had it on cooldown. Else I think they would have assisted Hani there and maybe even got 1 or 2 additional kills out of it. But with that on cooldown, SSD can get away with things like this, and they do get a kill on Hani on the Prophet. So BKB now up on Prophet. At least that's a step in the right direction, and because of all the Orchids and all the control Fnatic has, I think SSD have to get BKBs to be able to do something. I think their main problem, though, is that Kunkka has been, apart from the Ghost Ship, he really hasn't been a factor in this game, and now someone else who hasn't been the factor he wanted to be, Come With Me, has been racking up a lot of deaths, but it's very, very hard for him to play the Naga right now as well.
Yeah.
It's a very hard position.
A very valuable kill here for Fnatic, though. That is the big setup for SSD, and with Naga in the grave, they can feel very safe just chipping away at this tier 3. Glyph going to be burned by SSD, just not much they can do here. Arise nearby, does have the Ghost Ship ready and waiting, but I think the best they can hope for is a bit of Rat Dota, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Pycat as well as Sneaking going to be in the bottom. They will take out that bottom tier 2, but they've already lost their tier 3 in the mid. So this will be Rax, and I think Fnatic will be able to get back in time to save their tier 3. And it should really be no problem. Kunkka going to grab a Shadow Blade here at the 30-minute mark. That's really his first core item, and that shows how much his farm has really, I was going to say has fallen off, but it really never started to any big degree because he was shut down so hard in that mid lane in a 2v1 scenario. So, Fnatic going to come out ahead. The Prophet going to port back and barely get any damage to that tier 3. Now Come With Me going to fall again. The setup not going to be there. Ghost Ship will fly. Going to actually do a little bit of damage here. Does connect with a couple of the Fnatic heroes, but now SSD just in big trouble. Arise going to fall. Fly might actually go down to the Crystal Maiden. Nope, going to be able to survive. Met comes in. A monster kill coming out. And that's going to be it. GG, well played from SSD. I think a timely tap out as Fnatic really got the better of them. Once NoTail was able to grab level 6, that really seemed to be the turning of the tide. They were behind, and then a couple of relocates, Sunstrikes, and they were right back in it.
And they do end up showing. I was a little bit skeptical about the synergy with the IO here, but just the amount of global presence they could get out of the Storm Spirit IO together with Invoker was really made the difference in this game. Like you said, IO, once it got levels up, started taking the map control and getting kills all over the place, and SSD just couldn't seem to get the teamfight they drafted for. They never really got that setup. They never got the song into the ship that they wanted, because Fnatic didn't let them 5-man. They kept split pushing around, and then when the heroes from SSD split out, they ganked them off. So textbook play with IO once again from Fnatic, and I think when Fnatic already are the favorites for the match, if they also get IO, the chance of them losing is very, very small.
Yeah, statistically speaking, that is certainly true. That does wrap up our coverage for today, though, guys. Now, tomorrow, going to be a huge day in Starladder Round Robin. I don't know if this was intentional or just a little bit of RNG, but there will be 7 games coming up tomorrow. Fnatic will be in 4 of those 7. They'll be playing against Virtus.pro, next.kz, Empire, and Na'Vi. So some huge matches. For Fnatic, we'll also see Empire versus Sigma, Sigma versus QPad, and also SSD versus Na'Vi. So going to be a long day of really awesome Dota matches, and we'll be back to cover it. It does start bright and early at 16 CET tomorrow. So get a good night's sleep, Synderen. We're going to need it. Going to be intense.
I'm looking forward to that. Lots of good games, and yeah, reasonable starting time for me. I guess it's a little bit early for you, but curse of the US time zone in a tournament like this. But
10 a.m. is not too bad. Can't complain
not too bad.
much.
You're right. It's not too harsh. So yeah, we'll be back and kicking tomorrow, and we will be energized for a lot of good games. So see you guys again tomorrow.
Take care, gang. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Summit. Again, I am Zyori. With me is Synderen. Our Twitters are both in the title of this broadcast. Take care.